All right, we're here with head coach Don Cooper after a 74-57 loss to Eastern Michigan. Coach, your thoughts?
Well, I thought from a physical standpoint, they absolutely physically and strength-wise, they dominated us. I thought that was clear earlier in the game, but as the progression of the game went on, that became clear. And obviously, we didn't make any shots, and we turned the ball over entirely too much against that team. But, Thompson was terrific. It's one of the better performances I've seen. I thought he dominated the flow of the game. We couldn't get him off the boards. And when he gets a ball, it's his. And then he finishes. I would tell you there were probably about 15 to 18, 20 different times when we got the ball within 2 feet of the rim and we couldn't score. Whether we miss it, whether they intimidate us with their athleticism, whether the shot gets blocked. They have 11 blocked shots. And I would tell you, I think all 11 were at the rim, every single one of them. So, when you get the ball there and you can't score, there's nothing else you can do. We got it there quite a few times, but we couldn't do anything with it. And, testament to them, I thought they played exceptionally well because of what Thompson was able to do and dominating the game.
Questions?
You can, obviously, you've got a lot of newbies on the team, so to speak, and you go over films and things. But how much different is it for those new people to watch them on film and then to play against them? How big of a leap is that?
Well, it's impossible. What happens is you cannot simulate that defense in practice, but more importantly, when you talk about playing a 2-3 zone, for instance, you're a high school kid, they play a 2-3 zone. The typical thought process is, I'm going to play against a 2-3 zone. It's what I've seen in high school, but you can't, even as you watch it on tape, you can't really get a feel for it. You look at it, you think, but it's one of the things that I stressed the whole time, because when you have so many kids, when you have 8 kids that have not faced it, that's the biggest. I was extremely concerned about that coming into the game. So many guys that have not faced that and understand what it takes. One of the things against the zone is you really have to be patient. And you know what? There may be a couple times where you get a shot clock violation, and you can't bail it out. You can't. The natural thing is to lose your patience and take a shot. This is the only way I'm going to get it up, because you still got to be able to get the ball somewhere in the middle area, whether it's around the elbows. And then once you get it there, that person's got to be able to make a play. They've got to be able to see down. If it's a dump down, they've got to be able to see the corner guy who's floating, or it may be an opportunity that you need to take your guy one-on-one, and then you've got to be able to finish him. There were numerous times when we were able to get there, but we couldn't score. We could not score over him or their guys, period.
They got off to a little bit of a slow start, which is, has happened a few times. But in the case of Eastern Michigan, is that even more of a hole? It seems like they sort of imposed their will or the pace on things early.
Right. I don't know if I think it was 8-2. We had 2 or 3 points for the first. The start didn't necessarily bother me. Obviously you don't want to start out that way, but, I thought early, Haruna gets a shot fake. We get a couple of good shots, and that can happen if you don't make shots against them. I thought the thing that compounded that was we had 11 turnovers in the first half. And so you may not be scoring, but you can't have the 11 turnovers. And, when you look at that, that's what it was. They had 4 threes, and they made all their threes in the first half. So they didn't make any threes in the second half. I believe that's right. And, of course, we go 3 of 15 now. If you know anything about playing against that zone, you've got to be able to stretch it, and you sometimes have to be able to play over the top. Well, we can't play over the top of it. You know, we don't have the kind of kids that, 6'11", bouncy athletes you can throw over the top, because you can get some things over the top of it. You know, you watch teams, ACC play against Syracuse at times, and those kind of people, they throw over the top of it and get action and then challenge the inside. We can't do that, but you can certainly get the ball in the middle, and then you've got to be able to make a play. You've got to be poised. And you got to understand and you got to see the game. That zone forces you to have really, really, really good skill level in that area and exposes you if you don't.
I guess everybody tries to do it to recruit to their style and everything, but they've really done a pretty good job of bringing in people that suit what they do.
Well, I mean, Rob always does a good job, but, I think the difference to me is Thompson. I mean, Thompson today is just a different guy. It's a kid that, committed to South Carolina. I mean, he's just not some kid that, there isn't a player, there isn't a coach in this league that wouldn't have had him. Now, he's had times where he's, from keeping his composure, he's blown up. But as far as ability, you're talking about a top 100 player, and you see the difference, and certainly they add Steele, who gives them the size and the presence. Bond has continued to grow his length and his athleticism. But, when you're able to get 10 offensive rebounds and 10 defense, think about that, 10 offensive rebounds. So that means there's 10 times he gets the ball around the rim without the ball even being passed to him. Because for all practical purposes, early in the game, balls were being thrown into him, and a couple times he drove it and was just too strong and just bumped off and scored. But you start looking down the stretch of the game, I don't think there was hardly any times the ball was thrown to him and he was there to make a move. So how did he get him? He went and got him off the backboard.
It's a little bit odd seeing Ray Lee in here with 1 for 5 from the field, and that after he had such a big game last year.
Right.
Was there any particular focus about him, or was the big picture enough to focus on?
Well, I mean, the big picture was enough to focus on. I think, obviously Ray's a good player. I mean, I think, Rob would tell you what they probably, and I don't know, I'm not in their locker room, but, consistency may be the thing with him on a nightly basis, as far as being engaged. And I'm not sure, but, obviously he can shoot the ball and he can really get it going. But, he didn't need to get it going with what Thompson did. And it's not even about his points. He just controlled the game so much, second shots, taking away our shots at the rim, whether he blocked them, whether he contested them, all of that. And for the good thing about that, or the most impressive thing, I should say, from his perspective, is that he was in foul trouble. He had 2 fouls in the first half, and he was able to still do that. I personally, as I'm watching him, I think, he felt like, I am the guy on this court today. I'm stronger, I'm more physical, I'm tougher, and he showed it.
Logan, it seemed like Eastern was getting hands on a lot of your guys' passes. Was that something you were concerned about coming in?
Yeah, we are. In practice, Coach kept saying they're long and athletic, which they are, and they're 6'7" and above across their zone. So he was just saying ball fakes and pump fakes, but it took us a little while to get adjusted to their zone, and I think it took too long.
Last year, Lee had a big game, and not so much this time around, but they've still got quite a few weapons that they can go to. How tough is it to account for all these different weapons, to go inside, everything?
It's very tough. Lee's capable of dropping 25 at any point. So we had our emphasis on that, of guarding him, and then Thompson, who's a great big, gets his down scrapping with the bigs and stuff. So they're a good team.
Now, you've got some experience having played against them and seen it before. I guess it's one thing to see it on tape, but for the freshmen, I guess this could be quite an experience.
Oh, yeah. I kept trying to tell the freshmen just to slow down and be patient, because we're not going to get a first pass and score within 10 seconds of the shot clock. It's going to take 25 seconds to get them to break down, find a gap, and then attack from there. So now we got that, or the freshmen got that game under their belt. Hopefully that was enough experience so we can get them when we get them or play them again.
kind of a slow start, but you guys came back a little bit after that. Was there a feeling of kind of getting a little bit of traction or getting a little bit used to it after a while?
Yeah, we started off slow, which we tend to do a lot. We got to cut that out, but the zone attacked or shocked us at first, and like I said, it just took a little while to get used to it.